Hey everybody, I'm Lex.
And I'm Steven.
PDQ.com. Hey, today we have got the rock stars from Solutions taking you through our forums. We're going to bring you the highs, bring you the lows. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, talk about a lot of questions we get, tell you about some new things we're up to, and you get to meet the Solutions team.
Absolutely. Should we jump in?
Let's jump in.
What's the first thing you want to bring up today?
So, a lot of you may have already noticed that if you go to our support site, it is different than it used to be. So we recently migrated to a different support site. And if you go to the old support.pdq.com link, it'll redirect you over to help.pdq.com.
Help, I love that.
This is the new site. It's
straight
shorter.
up lets you know what you... I can spell help.
Yeah, there's like 8 characters you have to type in, or 9, or whatever. I can't count right now.
8, 9? Help is 4 letters, dude.
Well, plus .pdq, but it doesn't matter.
Good enough. It's easy.
Okay, so a little background. We, maybe a year, 2 years ago, we kind of had some big ideas for how we wanted our online community to work, the online community support page. We started developing our own homegrown site, and it ended up being a lot more work than we expected. There were a lot more problems than we expected, and most importantly, we realized that we wanted to
spend more time on the product, right?
The product
absolutely
better. Yeah. So we decided that we would switch to purchase basically a support site platform, and that's what we've done. So
there's some good benefits with this, yeah?
Yeah, we don't have to fix bugs ourselves. So we make a ticket and they can fix the bugs. And one big benefit, well, there's a lot of benefits. Let me show you a few cool things. So search, front and center. Search is better than it used to be. You can, if you're trying to find information.
Search, I want install an exe.
Well, let's look. Hold on.
G.
Typing in QWERTY.
G. Oh, that's right.
No one should be typing in
Dvorak, right?
Install an E. Oh, hold on.
There it is. I love this. He can't type on a regular keyboard. Yes, I'm not the only one.
It pops up some ideas. You know, let's look at, just whatever. There's different things you can look at. Suppose that you're trying to find information about something. You're trying to figure out how to do something. You can't find it. You can go right up here, support a request, submit a request. Now, I know that none of you watching would do this, would just submit a ticket without searching first, but there do exist people who are just like, I need help with this without searching first.
Come out.
Yeah.
You've been in my office when I need stuff, right?
Okay. Maybe.
All right. So
yeah, let's say that you're trying to install, or let's say deploy an exe. It'll pop up with searches right there for you, and you can be like, huh, maybe there is a tutorial for this already.
So the nice thing, there's something out there for you to look at prior to having to actually submit and wait.
Yeah.
So it's almost
exactly
like a little more help yourself kind of a thing.
But of course, if you still need help, if you can't find any information, you can just fill out the rest of the ticket. And
so
send
the rest
it over.
of the ticket would be Lex can't do this. Someone walk over to his office.
Please, no more Lex on the webcast. I can't take it anymore.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Submit. You could, I mean, we'll probably say no, but you can still ask. So.
Would you guys do that? Really? Honestly?
What else is good about this new site?
Single sign-on now. You don't have to do...
Right.
Yeah.
That is convenient. If you remember on the old site, you'd sign in, and then if you wanted to connect your tickets, you'd have to connect again to Zendesk. You'd have to sign in twice. But now, it's all a single sign-on. Everything's connected, so that makes it easier too. Another thing that I remembered that's cool about the site is the mobile site's way better. And I know only 2% of you use the mobile site, but if you've seen the old one, it was really bad, and now it's a lot better. So that's nice.
So
yeah, here, I'll show you.
I was going to say, what's the word? It sizes for,
yeah, it just scales on down.
Scales. That's the word I was looking for. Scales.
Cool.
I love that.
So we have the whole Solutions team off camera. Anything else that I should mention? Chirping.
Wow, crickets.
Chirping.
Apparently you covered it all.
Okay. Oh, I'll just also mention that from the main page you can go to the community. All the forums are here, the existing topics. You can browse recent comments, recent posts, ask questions, search for answers, etc.
I love community stuff. A lot of times when I get stuck or a customer calls me and is like, hey, have you guys ever tried doing this? I'm like, let's go look up on the community.
Yeah.
That's where I go first.
And there's some topics that maybe we don't have the bandwidth to help you with in support. If you're trying to do a really fancy SQL query or something, we probably won't be able to help you, but there's a lot of really clever people on the forums that could help you with stuff like that.
Are you trying to say our customers are clever?
I am.
Brilliant. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Okay, so I think that covers the support side. I'm going to talk a little bit about the package library next. A couple changes.
While you're doing that, I'm going to just pull the package library up.
Cool.
Okay.
So some of you have noticed that after you upgraded to 18, that a lot of the packages would fail on server 2019. The problem was, so we are now going to require deploy 18 for the latest versions of our package library packages. The reason is we have to use deploy 18 to build the packages so that we can put in the server 2019 conditions, so that when you deploy your package, it'll deploy to everything.
Okay, so what's so different about 2019 versus, the older server versions?
It's just simply that when, the previous versions of deploy were out, server 19 didn't exist. So that's why there aren't conditions for that in the older versions. You can still use deploy 17 for new packages, but the conditions won't be completely accurate. Your conditions will just be all computers. And so whether or not the package was designed for all machines, it'll just deploy to everything. So
basically the rule of thumb here, guys, and best practice, always keep upgrading. Okay?
Absolutely. Simple.
We got a question, maybe?
Dear Lex and Stephen, what is the platform you are using for ticketing and knowledge base? Sincerely, Billy Z.
Is that Billy Z? Billy Z? Billy Z.
Yeah, simple answer. We're using Zendesk.
Yep.
So we've been using Zendesk for a long time for our ticketing, and then we used to use Zendesk for the community, like knowledge-based community, and we've gone back to them.
Yep.
There's been a lot of improvements in the last year or two. That
Good stuff. I like Zendesk.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, it's good. It's good platform.
Okay, so recap again. Keep up to date, and you will get the best versions of the packages.
Absolutely. So again, upgrade, guys. Upgrade. Performance issues taken care of. All the new features, and of course, being able to conditions on your OSs at this point.
Exactly.
One thing that I kind of wanted to just address with that is that some people have to be on earlier versions of our product. In those cases, we are working on updating packages as they come in. So as they come in and we create them, then we update them. So
that's
with
true.
those conditions. So it's just if you're one of those that has to be like 1 or 2 versions back, because we do support 2 versions back, it's just a waiting game. Yeah.
Cool. Another
Got another
question.
Dear Stephen and Lex, can we get nested replies in the forum? Sincerely, A.
That is a good question, because that was one of the features that we really liked about the previous support site, something that we did in our custom solution.
I got to ask, what is a nested reply?
So have you been on like Reddit or something? There's all these chains you can reply just to a specific. Whereas our forum now, it's just a single thread. There's just a single reply. We decided that is a disadvantage, but overall, it's still the better decision. We can't do nested replies until Zendesk decides to add that feature. So we realized even when we had nested replies, they weren't as important as we thought they would be. So for now, we're okay with the single thread. So
excellent. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, good questions. Thank you. All right, the last thing I want to mention really quick is that we've had a few questions about the open JDK packages. We no longer can distribute a lot of the Java.
Oh, that's right. It's paid now.
It
is paid now. Okay.
So we're going to start releasing open JDK, and we're going to use the adopt open JDK binaries. So
there's been some questions, and kind of because I asked this question, why don't we use the Amazon? Was it Credo?
Exactly.
Why didn't we do that?
So Amazon Credo is also really popular and really good. The couple disadvantages we saw with that is their versioning scheme was weird, and it was hard for us to like automate the packaging and have updates and stuff.
So the collection library would have issues updating that kind of thing. So giving the right information to you guys about versions. Who's got the right version was a little off. So
the other thing is Amazon Credo doesn't have as many binaries as Adopt OpenJDK.
Okay.
I don't think they have 32-bit releases for the 3 of you out there that still want them. And Adopt OpenJDK has like 13, 12, like all the versions, whereas the Credo doesn't.
So it's a little more well-rounded for all of you out there.
Yeah. So we're gonna have Adopt OpenJDK 8, 11, and the latest, which right now is 13. These packages are still going through our testing phase, but we should be releasing them soon.
Stay tuned. Is that it?
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. I love that.
Okay, and I think that's all I've got to cover. Any other questions?
Any questions for Steve before he decides to just go drink himself?
Okay, Renzo,
All right,
you're
next.
up.
Renzo, how are you doing, man?
Good. How about you?
Doing good. I just disappeared. Now I'm back.
Thank you.
So, what are you covering today?
So today I'd like to cover 2 topics. One is the new changes that we've made to the domains that we've added for the check for updates feature and PDQ deploy version 18. So let me show you guys here on our new knowledge base. Oh, we already have a tab.
There it is.
Yep. So we've been getting a lot of reports that the check for updates has been failing, and that is most likely due to this new domain that we've added here at the bottom of the
Now, while he's
site.
scrolling down, this is a great page to make sure you got all the ports that you need opened. It does do there's a group policy object and some troubleshooting, and here are the external exceptions.
Correct.
What's new here?
So there's this new domain, services.pdq.tools, that was introduced with version 18. So for everybody that's on a lockdown network, if you can add this URL to your whitelists, it should help out with that issue if you're seeing the check for updates failed.
Absolutely. So if you got really aggressive security guys, make sure you send them this, guys. This is what we need.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So yeah, and then like we're saying, there's a lot of tests that you can do here to verify that you are able to access all the pages correctly and stuff. So
I love that.
That always helps.
Kind of a one-stop shop for testing in and out of your PDQ deploy through your firewall.
Yep. Awesome. And
What else you got?
And then the second one was more about these other customer reports that we've also been getting for PDQ inventory scans and PDQ deployments. So it most likely do with web filters and firewalls. So
okay.
a lot of
An example of what might be happening.
yeah, so a lot of web filters and firewalls that connect with Active Directory,
Uh-huh.
they will determine who the currently logged on user is by looking at the login events on the domain controllers.
Okay.
And every time you log into a computer, it will generate a login event, and that's how the web filters and the firewalls will determine that the computers are currently logged in with by a user. And one thing that we're seeing is that when PDQ inventory and deploy connect to the computers, they log in as the deploy user, and then the deploy user creates a new login event on the domain controllers, and the firewall now thinks that the inventory scan or the deploy user is the currently logged on user.
For that workstation?
For that workstation.
Yeah, okay.
And all of a sudden, they're able to access Facebook or YouTube or whatever other web filters that they had applied to them because now the user has changed.
Okay.
So typically in these cases, there's not really much that we can do from our end because it's just a normal process that happens. What needs to happen is you guys contacting your web filter or your firewall vendor and asking them how you can exclude those service accounts, so that when the web filter or the firewall sees those login events, it will ignore them. So that way it doesn't overwrite your currently logged on user. So, and that's what we've been telling all the customers so far, and a lot of them have had good success with that. So.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Stay in tight. Make sure you send a drink to your firewall guys, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep. And yeah, those were kind of just what I wanted to.
That's
say.
what you got to cover today?
Yep.
Well, thanks, Renzo. I appreciate it, man.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. Katie. I love it. Lady with a drink.
Oh, yep.
So what do you got today?
Couple things. You guys have probably heard me in the pre-show say this before about feature upgrades.
Oh, yes. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
That's the reaction I was expecting. Deploy was really not meant to do operating system installs, and a feature upgrade when you go from one build of Windows 10 to another build of Windows 10 is essentially an operating system, like a reinstall.
So if I'm
Windows
jumping
will go-
1803 to 19 whatever, it's a feature upgrade at that point and not built to do that.
Not really. Windows, it'll take your stuff, your files and your settings and everything, and it'll hang on to it for safekeeping, and then it'll lay down the new OS, reboot, finish the changes, and then try and put all the stuff back where it thinks it found it. So they do a lot better job than they used to when they did in-place upgrades from something like Windows 7 to Windows 8 or to 10.
Yeah.
But the fact remains that reboot in the middle is really what kills you, because Deploy maintains a connection with your target machine. So there's a connection between that console machine and the target machine. And when that surprise reboot happens, that Windows needs to do what it has to finish doing, the connection is severed between those two. And
I'm sorry to jump
No,
in,
no.
but that's the whole reason we put reboot in there is because we can control that. So if your feature upgrade does a reboot that we're not controlling, we don't know what to do with that, right?
True. The machine just kind of disappears and deploys like, well, it's dead, Jim. And then you get usually the error message is one of our favorite ones. The runner service died and left no will and testament. We don't know what the heck happened to that target machine.
Now that being said, it might have finished. It might not have. But we can't tell you. So
there have certainly been people who have figured it out. It's not something that we in support recommend or have, as Stephen mentioned, the bandwidth to help with because it's so customized on an individual basis. That's one thing that we really recommend you go to the forums and find the other clever people who have done it.
That just seems like, man, like doing a BIOS upgrade. You know, it's like
It's
I send
kinda
that
scary.
out. I
There's
could
that
do
little
it.
bubble of fear.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
could
you're
brick
like,
it. I don't know. I could brick everybody.
Yeah, you're going to push that BIOS update out to
Yeah.
1,000 computers, so you're going to have to walk around all of those and unbrick them.
So
Fun. Yeah,
And-
so feature upgrades, not the best tool for the job. There's other tools. So, bad
Yes.
news bears.
bet don't.
Yeah. And then I'm going to go over, since I love settings and checkboxes that nobody
yes.
gets enough love, like the stop deploying to targets once they succeed checkbox. We're going to look at a new kind of checkbox.
Now, obviously, if you've seen any of our videos, you build any of these, and you need to include all your cab files, and that's include a directory or include files.
Yeah.
But what you're covering is
Yeah, you're talking about this include entire directory check or option on the install step. What I'm talking about is on the options tab. Installation requires source.
that means it got to. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
I was going to say that means it needs to keep those cab files or whatever it's putting on the machine.
Yeah, so you've done deployments, and deploy will copy over your install file. All the packages or all the files referenced in your package, copies those over to the target machine, uses them, and then tidies up after itself and deletes the directories when it's gone. This can cause a problem for installers that need to reference those, like if you're going to do a repair on the install, if when your users launch the option or launch the software, they're given options to do something like install art packs or other things. Some installers require those files to uninstall themselves later. A lot of MSIs, when you go to uninstall in Windows, they'll give you a prompt that says these files are missing, and it'll point to that temporary directory where deploy had originally copied the install files. So you'll get an error that's like, I can't find the files I need. So if you ever run into those, tick that installation requires source. So deploy will copy over the files to this directory, and it will leave them there after the install is finished. This can help with some deployments, and it really does help with using some pieces of software after the fact.
Now, on an uninstall, does that automatically clean itself up?
What do you mean?
Like, so if I decided, like, I installed, I don't know, last one I could remember used to do was like TechSmith, like Snagit or something. They used to require those. They don't anymore, but if I were to uninstall it, does that clean up that directory, or is that on a vendor-by-vendor basis?
It may be a vendor-by-vendor basis.
Okay.
We may actually leave them there since we copy the files there and keep them there. So.
Interesting. Good thing to know.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So those are my two things. My bad news and
Bad news.
my checkbox that nobody
I love the checkbox, and that's not
overlooked.
bad news. It's good news.
Oh, no, the
Feature
checkbox is
upgrades.
good news. Yeah.
It's a challenge. That's what it is. A challenge for
true.
people. Yeah.
Your own creative problem that you can figure out.
There you go.
I think that's me stepping off of my literal box that I'm standing on, and I think it's Brett's turn. Y'all
Brett's
get
up
to meet
next. Brett.
Well.
So Brett, you're going to
go.
teach us. Hey, brother, here you go. You're going to show us how to install local files. And when I say
Yes.
local files, let's say there's something on my machine that needs to be installed, and from the console, you're going to take care of that.
Right, exactly. So if you've got a file that's already on the computer you want to run it on, it's not saved in your PDQ repository, but you still want to use PDQ to push that out and have it give you information back about how that ran, you can still do that.
How do we do
So
it, man? How do we do
what we're
it?
going to do here is we're going to go into our PDQ console. We're going to create a new package, and we're going to use just a little bit of PowerShell here to run that, and if it returns any value back to us, we can see that and tell PDQ what to do
Oh,
with
you
it.
can actually use this as an exit code or something like that and say, yes,
Exactly.
it was successful or no, it wasn't.
Exactly.
Okay, so how do we do it?
So what we're going to do here is we're going to
I'm going to move the center of this so they can see that.
All
right
right.
there. There we go.
So first thing we're going to do is we are going to get a variable set up here in PowerShell. We'll just call it our return value.
Excellent.
And we are going to set that to, and we're actually going to use then a command prompt to set off that file, tell it to run. So
Okay.
we're just going to call cmd.exe, and we're going to use the S and C parameters here. It's actually the same thing that happens if you run a command step through PDQ deploy. It's run the exact same thing.
Excellent.
And those parameters there are just telling it, hey, I'm going to be passing you a command, run this, and tell me what you do with it. Tell me what happens.
Excellent. So at this point, you're going to be calling an executable.
Exactly.
Now, if that executable is scattered all over from hell to breakfast, you're going to have an issue. But if you...
Right. Since that file is local, PDQ doesn't know where it is. Normally, when PDQ copies over a file, it knows where it puts it, knows where everything is, and it can keep track of that. In this case, since they didn't come from PDQ, you do have to tell it exactly where it is. If you've got that file in multiple locations, say in some places it's in one folder, some places it's in another, you are going to need a different package for each of those.
Or at least a different step, right?
At least a different step. You could also, if you've got inventory set up to scan for those files, you could have that tell you where it is.
Okay, so you're going to call the file at this point.
Yep. So if we've got something on the C drive in my cool local file.
I like your thinking. That's the way I would put it.
And we've got cool local file.exe. We can call that, and we can pass over any other silent parameters we'd normally want to use with that file here as well. So if we've got a silent parameter on that one, we can stick that in there before we close that parentheses. It'll call my cool local file with the silent parameter, and it will save that value into return value if it's got one. In this case, with an exe, you never know quite what you're going to get back because there's no standard for those. If you've got something like an MSI it's saved locally, you've got all those standard MSI return values, you know you're going to get something good back.
So in this case, let's say we got a 1,000 back, and 1,000 meant it was successful.
Yep.
How do we deal with that?
If 1,000 says it's successful, we come down here and we can tell this to
you gotta tell it to
exit
return
with
the value
that
first.
return value. Yep.
Okay.
So we can still save that value, and we can pass that back to PDQ deploy. So if we exit with our return value variable, and if, like you said, the one we're looking for is 1,000, we know that, hey, that means it ran successfully, we got what we wanted. We come down here to our success codes, put 1,000 in there, and now that deployment, if we get that 1,000 back, we know it ran successfully, and PDQ deploy will show you, hey, yep, this deployment ran successfully, you got what you wanted out of it. Or if it comes back with something else, it'll show, hey, this step failed, you may want to check, see what's going on there.
Absolutely. So speaking about error codes,
Yep.
what if I get one of those negative something, something, something big number error codes?
Oh, that is actually the next thing I wanted to show you here. If you've got negative error code, you've looked online, can't seem to find what that might mean, you can actually go into your calculator here. Oh, you've already got one open. Cool. And
Oh, that was the one I had centered, man.
that's...
I finally did my job, and
I'm just trying to mess with you.
I love it.
like
I
to
love
make
it.
things
Somebody's
difficult
got to
for
do
you.
it. Someone's got to do it.
Lex, will you fix that again?
Yeah, hang on one second.
All right, where do you want that one?
We're going to go like this.
All
I'm
right.
going to go like this.
check
I'm going to
your
look
window
up there.
up there.
What do you think, JJ?
Yeah, it looks good.
All right, cool.
All right, so we're going to go into our calculator. On the default Windows calculator, Windows 10, you've got this nice little programmer option here. You want to make sure you've got it set in there.
I think it should be called Nerd Calculator.
It
Because I would,
really is.
I would
Yep.
feel much more comfortable. if it
That's
was-
right.
It is the nerd calculator, and if you want to get even nerdier about it, really what we're doing here is we're taking the 2's complement of that error code.
Wow.
If
Well,
you want to get
you
really
nerded
nerdy
up,
about it.
baby. Good job.
All right.
Boom. All right. Okay, so
if
we got our
you've
negative error code.
Yep. So if you've got something like error code, this is one I saw just earlier today, actually, 21462330079.
How in the world do you keep that in your mental Rolodex, man?
Like I said, it's the nerd calculator.
Okay, it's the Nerd Calculator.
So we've got that one, and what we're going to do then, after putting that in, is we're going to look at this hex value right here.
Now, if
We
you
can
click
ignore.
on that, does that actually... Okay,
Yep, it'll
so-
pop up there, and we can actually just copy that. We don't need any of those leading F's there. We only need the 32 bits from those last
so
last
basically,
8 digits, rather.
You're just
Yep.
Converting that to a hex at this point.
Exactly.
Okay.
Converting it to hex. So if we copy that, then we open up Google here. Say we got this error code from PDQ. We can search PDQ, and normally what you want to do with hex codes is put a 0x in there. That's the standard format for hexadecimal numbers. Paste that right in there. Get rid of that space, and you can see we've got a few results for it. Looks like we got a post on our forum about it. And hey, we've even got an article saying, here's what you do with that error code. Come down here, here's exactly what that means. Notice we're actually nice enough. We give you the decimal 1, 2 just because we're cool like that.
Time out. We're nice enough? I love it. I love it.
We are. We're nice people.
We try to help, actually. Okay.
But not everyone will do that for you. So if you run into that, it's a nifty little trick to maybe get you some more information, some documentation that might not have that negative error code in there.
I love that. You're such a nerd. You're my hero, dude.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely. So that what you got for me today?
That's all I got for you.
Yeah, well, thank you so much, Brett.
Absolutely.
I learned something today. I still am not the coolest nerd here.
No, that's me.
That's Brig. Here comes Brig.
I'm the coolest
and you
nerd.
just decided you were the coolest. Oh, wow,
Jeez.
that was loud.
Wow, that's okay.
All right.
That's all right.
Kick in the box.
I kicked the box. Kicked the bucket. Kicked the box. All right.
You haven't kicked the bucket.
Haven't kicked the bucket?
Hey, look, that's
All right.
me. All right. So,
You and me. What are we talking about?
we're going to talk about two things. We're going to talk about 2008 server,
yeah.
which is the Vista server.
I'm going to start dancing.
And then we're going to talk about
Oh, it's gonna be gone.
the end of life for some products that Microsoft has put out in previous years.
All right.
All right, so let's talk about 2008, which is Vista server. So there was a TLS issue.
I'm
It
sorry.
is
I
Vista
just, you know
server.
why I laugh?
It is.
Because I'm just like, I'm excited. It's going to be gone. It's
Could be gone. I know, yay. So, and yeah, the end of its support ends on January 14th. Is that right?
Yep.
I'm verifying from the crowd. Okay, great. So, January 14th of 2020. So, just a few short months, 2008 will reach its
Pinnacle of...
Yeah. So the one thing about that, though, that we have a particular problem with is that it operates on a TLS 1.0 system, and the upgrade that Microsoft has provided so that you can not have to use TLS 1.0 that has numerous security issues does not work.
Well, time out. They provided a fix that really doesn't fix anything?
Yeah, they put it out in July, I believe.
Just checking.
It doesn't actually fix. Yeah, I mean, like I think it fixes some things because people haven't been like, yours doesn't do anything. But for us, it definitely does not.
Doesn't fix the TLS issue.
No, because
Okay.
we try and use TLS 1.2 and Windows 2008 is like, no, I'm sorry. Even with this update, no, it's still not going to work. So it's really, it's bad. That means that the collection library will not work. That means the package library will not work, and you will not be able to scan any 2008.
Well, time out. It won't work. That means if I've got this installed on 2008, no bueno?
Yeah, no bueno, or if you're trying to connect to that machine.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
trying
So
to
there's
deploy
a
to that
couple of
machine.
levels of no bueno
It's
there.
just, that's 2008 is an island unto itself.
Do the dance.
Yeah.
It's gone. It's gone. Get it gone.
Yeah.
And you won't
It's
have
just,
an issue.
Yeah, just R2 for now. But also, R2 dies in January 14th of 2020.
Yeah.
And so does Windows 7. There is the extended security update that you can purchase through volume licensing so that you can receive extended security updates
I
on
don't
your
know why
Windows
I
7.
laugh every time I hear that. I'm just like, in case you really don't want to upgrade, we're going to extend this, but
you
you got
don't
to pay
want
for
Windows
it.
10 or Windows 16
Why
now.
would you not want that, though?
I don't know. I mean, well, I can...
Okay, there's a handful of reasons. I understand
Yes.
there are a handful of reasons you may not do it, but just stay on top of technology and be secure, man.
Yes.
Do it.
And I do not know when we're going to stop supporting Windows 7 and Windows 2008 R2.
I got the magic 8-ball. No, I don't. I've got the
Okay.
magic liquor glass. Okay. It won't tell me anything anyways, but...
My Scotch-addled brain says that we'll probably do it with like 6 months, but we may do it the very day. I have no idea. We haven't even talked about it yet on what we're going to do.
Basically, this is your heads up, guys. Get your 2008 taken care of.
Yeah, get your Windows 7s and like decide to upgrade to Windows 10 and do that, and yeah, it should be a lot better off. But I realize that there are some businesses that simply can't move off of Windows 7. And in those cases where you've got where you've used the volume license and you're doing the extended security updates, there may be instances where PDQ deploy and inventory can be used, but I don't want to like commit to anything. I'm basically being completely non-committal.
Non-committal?
Exactly. Yeah.
You have a problem with commitment?
I do. I have a huge problem with commitment. Huge problem. So yeah.
Do we have any more questions?
Yeah. Do we have questions?
Should we do like a speed round or something?
We can do a speed round.
Can we?
Yeah. Have I covered everything? I think so.
We could do a speed round, but it's going to be a really fast one since this is the question.
Oh, I'm
Great.
feeling
I
speedy
like
here.
that.
Dear Lex and Brig, my coworker is creating packages locally, not on our server. Ugh! Why can't my admin account deploy or see those? Sincerely, Jorlando D.
Okay, I'm assuming we're in central server mode.
Yep.
Brig has decided to make rogue packages. Which, you know...
I do all the time.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
And I can't see them. Well, that's because they're in his private folder, and that's the one way you could build packages and test them and do that so that I don't accidentally grab one of Brig's deployments and launch it before it's ready to go. That being said, if I really wanted to see him, I'd probably have to walk over to his desk.
Yeah. That seems more of a personnel issue than a PDQ issue.
I'm gonna have to write you up for those.
I know. I'm sorry.
Shame on you.
They were
good ones though. So yeah, that's the reason we did that is so you didn't accidentally launch somebody's package that wasn't completed and cause havoc.
Yeah.
I'm looking at Colby. Is there a nod there? Yes.
So it's a policy issue, more along the lines.
Yep.
Okay.
Wow, thank you. That was insightful.
Yeah, there's really no way of getting around that.
Yeah.
Like if you've got like a rogue employee out there, like just as I'm going to create all the packages, then there's really nothing that you can do other than like no, don't do that.
Shame on you.
Yeah, shame on you.
Yeah.
Write me up like Lex does.
I use a crayon though.
Red crayon.
Red
Draw me a
crayon.
picture of your
Bad.
anger, boss. Rah!
Bad.
He's
F.
not really my boss.
No.
No.
Right. Apparently, we got another question.
Oh, we do? Yeah.
Wow. Speed round part
Speed
two.
round part 2.
Speed round part 2, one final question. Dear Lex and Brig, do you sell the PDQ shot glass with the Lex fingers? Sincerely, anonymous.
Send me an email. I'll sell you one.
Yeah, exactly. $50. Yeah. Brig Angus is the name. Just make a checkout and send that to PDQ.com.
When you say you, what do you mean?
Do you?
Do you?
Oh, I do.
Define
You
it.
do?
Yeah,
Oh,
sure.
Well,
We do.
Depends on who you email.
We do.
And how
Lex and I, we sell them. Mhm.
how sketchy our
They
business
are a
tactics
little expensive, but yeah.
No, I think you got to win those. I don't think we sell them.
Yeah, we don't sell them.
You
We
got to
don't
win
have,
them
like, a
on the
PDQ gift shop.
webcast. So you got to watch and you ask good questions. I thought that was a good question.
Winning
we get a
them
gift
makes them
shop?
more valuable.
Can we get a gift
no,
shop?
No, we can't. You know why we
No,
can't?
no, online. I want like a legit gift shop.
You have to
Well,
come
people
into Salt
come
Lake
in
to do
here.
it.
Yes, you have to
Yeah.
come into Salt Lake City.
Maybe.
Yeah.
You set that up. You know how bad I would feel because no one ever shows up to buy stuff. Like, nah. And then they leave.
Everything's like the worst thing in the world. This is how. Never mind. But
Yeah.
the worst thing in the world really is walking into a gift shop and seeing like all the dust on all the things that people haven't chosen, and it's just like it's almost the same as like looking at a photograph of people that are already dead. Like they're from something from like the early 20th century or late 19th century, and you're just like everyone in this photograph is dead.
To be honest, my ego couldn't handle it, guys. There would be dust on those.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
All right.
that was it, man. The rock stars from Solutions.
I know.
love it, man.
Thanks, everyone.
You guys rule. Thank you so
Yes.
much. These are the guys that take care of you,
Yep.
and they definitely take care of me because I need help.
And me too.
So
All the
much
help.
help.
So much.
Thanks for watching, guys. I'm Lex.
Thanks. I'm Brig.
PDQ.com.
Yep.
Thanks for joining our webcast today. Congratulations, Jorlando D. and Billy Z, winners of PDQ swag. Send us your info at webcast@pdq.com. If you have additional questions, reach out to our solutions team because now you know what they look like and who they are. Thanks again for joining us, and we'll see you back here next week.